Good.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Halloween's coming up. You know, the kids all go around and they say trick or treat, right? Everybody always gets treats. Nobody does tricks.
I know a great trick.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see it then.
Best Halloween ever. All right, everybody, welcome back to 21090. I am Andy. This is Todd. Glad you're back with us, buddy.
Yeah, that's a nice trick you got there, Andy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that more often. I think the people like it. But we are gearing up for Halloween. As you can see, Halloween themed today, and our good friends at Heavy Seas know how to do Halloween right. Their newest release from their 15-barrel program are two really cool takes on sour beers called Trick and Treat. So we were lucky enough to grab a couple of them before their release Friday. But Todd, you want to tell us a little bit about what we're about to sample?
Yeah, so the first time in their 15-barrel program, we got two releases. One is Trick, all right? And this is, again, a sour ale, but it's dry hopped vigorously with Mosaic, Citra, and Enigma hops. So I have yet to have a sort of sour IPA that really gives you that hoppy aroma and flavor, because the sour notes usually overpower it. I'm really interested to see how this also has a ton of orange juice in it. As you can see, it kind of looks like orange juice.
It's pretty color.
Pretty color. And then, you know, for Treat, we've got a cherry-infused sour ale. Kind of basic with your sour base and loads of sweet, sweet cherries in it. So you got that sweet and tart.
Should be good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I'm a cherry person myself, but I think it's hard to get right in beers.
Yeah.
And orange maybe not my favorite, but it plays great in beers, so it usually ends up doing a really good job. So it'll be really cool to see how they approach both of these beers and what they taste like. So without further ado,
let's get into it. All right, Andy, so we got two. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, I'm wearing orange in honor of the Birds, even though they're not in the World Series this year, or many other years for that matter. But let's start with the orange Trick. Yeah.
So this is the sour ale that is dry hopped vigorously with Mosaic hops that we really love, Mosaic, Citra, and Enigma hops. Let's see if we can get it on those.
Well, that smells great.
Smells good. You can smell it's not as overpowering of a sour smell.
No, the hops are really
coming through, which is
They're
good.
playing off there, which is nice.
Because I've had a lot of sour IPAs that I don't get that on the nose.
No.
Get a little bit of sweetness from that orange juice. You can smell it in the background. It smells really nice.
That's a wonderful smell.
Yeah. Cheers. Let's get into it.
I'm excited to try this. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's the same thing on the nose. So I was hoping, because I've yet to really have a good dry hopped sour ale, that the hops would come through, and they do it here. So you do get all those flavors. You get the sweetness of the juice, right? The sour component, because it is a sour ale, and then it finishes with that sort of slightly bitter from the hops.
I like this.
It's really cool.
Because it really is true to the description. It's really good.
Yeah.
This is a unique take on it, because I stay away from the kind of dry hopped or heavily hopped sours, because the two just kind of don't mesh all the time.
I agree.
This really balances out nicely, because you can tell that you're drinking a sour, but you definitely have the hop presence there, which is unusual. This is really good.
And the juice comes through too. That sweetness, that tanginess of orange juice soda. It plays well with all three of those flavors.
It's easy to drink. I mean, for 6% ABV on this is pretty crushable. This is pretty easy to drink.
It's really good. I'm happy that you can get sort of the aroma and even that little lingering bitterness on the tongue.
The aroma's a 10. I mean, it just smells amazing. Because
again, sour ales that are dry hopped, that they call sour IPAs, I've really had a hard time, as you said, finding one that does, and this doesn't. That's great. So I'm not sure how now Treat will compete with this. Let's go.
Got some big shoes to follow,
Let's do it. All right, let's do it.
All right, so here you take the big boy there.
All right, so there it is. Look at that color. I mean, it's got tons and tons of cherries in it. You can tell it's a nice red flavor for Maryland, like my shirt here for the terps.
I love our terps.
And the smell is sour cherries.
Yeah, I think a little more prominence on the nose here when you're going for that fruit.
I think from the hops.
Yeah. Well, even some of that citrus notes that you get from the orange.
But I do smell.
You can smell the cherries on this.
Definitely. Cheers.
All right, yeah, let's
go for it. Right off the bat. Oh, I love sour beers. Completely different, of course, from this trick. You get that sort of sour component right up front.
Yeah.
Right up front. And then sweetness from the cherries a little bit. And I guess cherries can be tart. I don't know what kind of cherries they used.
Well, yeah, then that's the thing. I mean, people have different ideas of what cherry is supposed to taste like, whether it's that,
See, when I drink...
Or, you put on top of a sundae, or the really tart cherries.
Right.
This is more on the tart side, I think.
Agreed. But there is still some sweetness there from the... I don't know, again, I don't know what kind of cherries they use. We probably should have looked that up first. But it plays well with the sour notes. I mean, this is a traditional sour ale, and it's got that sweetness a little bit from the cherries, I think, that lends really well. You can tell there's a fruit in here, and it's cherries.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, with 4.5%, you can totally crush these.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley.
But I feel like they drink the same, considering the difference in ABV. They're both really, really smooth. Neither one of them incredibly high, but...
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what people like. So I hope you can get out today. The release of this is at Heavy Seas Brewery. You can pick up these both at 3 p.m. I'd love to hear some people that actually taste these beers.
Yeah,
comment below.
Tell us what you think.
Because I don't know which people are going to like. I think there's something for everybody here. Well,
let's do our own little vertical here. I'm curious what your favorite of the two is, and then I'll kind of tell you mine.
I'm inclined to say this because I finally found a dry hopped sour IPA that actually delivers. But you know me, I love sour ales all of a sudden. It's like my rage now.
It is.
I'm going with Treat because of that sort of traditional sour and fruit infused beer. I love it. So and I think you're gonna probably go the opposite.
So for me, I'm the opposite. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. But that's okay. I think it's gonna be like that for a lot of people.
Well, yeah, it is, because for me, I love cherries, but I think they play nicer in a porter, a stout, with the roasty notes and kind of that, maybe add a little bit of vanilla in there. This was awesome to me because you had at times a feeling of drinking a hazy pale ale, and then of course you knew you were drinking a sour on the finish, but you had those really bright notes that shine from the hops. Yeah. Well done. So I guess I stuck with the orange here. I guess I'm going Trick, and you
going with Treat. We'll have both these up on Untapped, our ratings of them. So check them out when you can see. And again, we'd love to hear, if you have these, what you think of each one.
We want to thank Heavy Seas, as always, for all the good stuff that they're doing over there. Chris Leonard and his team, they just know what they're doing. They make some good brew. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention Owen Murphy, and he just keeps doing this killer art for these things. These are fun.
Amazing.
He'll probably be out there today as well. They've got a food truck on site. They're going to have a nice little Halloween-type atmosphere. So if you get a chance, go out, grab yourself some Trick and Treat.
No doubt about it.
But in the meantime, if you like what you see from 21090, please hit that subscribe button and click that little bell in the corner. It's going to let you know every time we got a new video. We've got Instagram, we've got Twitter. We'll put both of these guys up on Untapped. You can follow us there. And other than that, happy Halloween,
hey, there
everyone.
You go.
Would you all like to make Todd disappear again?
Oh man, come on.
One more time. Awesome. I'm getting good at this. Cheers, everybody.